Now, from the Columbia Basin, your local news source, this is iFIBER One News, presented in high definition. The #1 source for real-time local news, local sports headlines, and our very own Weather Center forecast covering the entire Columbia Basin. With your iFIBER One News team, reporting news in real time as it's happening. From the iFIBER Communications HD broadcast studio in Ephrata, Washington, this is iFIBER One News, and it starts now.
Welcome to iFIBER One News. I'm Cody Johnson with news from around the Columbia Basin for Wednesday, March 27th. I want to send a special thanks to Sarah Brewer for filling in yesterday while I was out with the flu bug. Tonight we report on a proposal that would require Moses Lake residents to wear helmets while riding bikes and skateboards. We'll hear how the new federal health care law will affect your insurance cost here in Washington, and take a look at a couple of cultural activities taking place here in Moses Lake tomorrow night. Finally, we'll meet an elderly tiger who's living with a lot less pain after undergoing surgery. In sports, the state baseball rankings are out, and we have some local athletes who earn the WIAA Player of the Week awards. Our spotlight story tonight focuses on two Baltimore businessmen who might have found a way to get green energy out of fossil fuels. We also have the latest weather forecast for the Columbia Basin from the iFIBER One Weather Center. But first up tonight, Moses Lake bike riders and skateboarders don't need to strap on a helmet quite yet, but change could be in the air. The City Council last night didn't take any action on a proposed ordinance that would have required headgear for anyone using a bicycle, inline skates, roller skates, skate shoes, scooters, or skateboards. Under the new rule, anyone who doesn't wear a helmet would face a $25 fine or a warning if caught by police. The council requested the ordinance be drafted after hearing from health district officials at a previous meeting. But Moses Lake business owner Josh Mose voiced opposition to the proposal last night, telling the council that people using skateboards understand the risks and shouldn't be forced into helmets. Mose, who owns a skateboard shop in town, pointed out that the city hasn't received a claim for injuries during the 20 years the skate park has been open. Councilwoman Karen Liebrecht agreed with him, saying the proposal goes too far and that it's the place of parents, not the city, to tell their kids to wear helmets. Councilman Brent Reese wanted the ordinance to apply only to a certain age range, saying it's a good idea to have the requirement for children. But Reese and other council members ultimately decided more public input is needed before they move ahead with anything. The Washington State Legislature has about a month left in its regular session, and budget proposals are starting to bubble up. Here's a brief update from your District 13 representative, Moses Lake Republican Judy Warnock.
Hello, I'm Judy Warnock, State Representative for District 13. Thanks for joining me for my weekly update. Just a few days ago, we received the revenue forecast update. Basically, the revenue is flat from the last estimate, but that's not a bad thing. We didn't lose as much as we thought. The good news is we have about $2 billion more for our upcoming budget than the current budget. So that's more revenue coming in. And I firmly believe we can't increase taxes now. Our fragile economy is just starting to show signs of recovering, and so now is not the time to increase taxes. We will see budget proposals in the next few days from the Majority Coalition Caucus in the Senate. Then the Democrat-controlled House will release their budgets, and that's the operating budgets, followed closely by the transportation and the capital budgets. The discussion will be whether or not we increase taxes, and like I've already said, I believe we should not at this time.
And here at home, Grant County Community Gardens may soon get some help from the Washington State University Extension Office. WSU's foundation may fund a grant to restore the Master Gardener Program Coordinator position. The position was lost in 2011 after Grant County Commissioners cut funding to the office because of budget shortfalls. A grant of $20,000 to $30,000 a year would go a long way toward restoring the position, which would still need about $15,000 to $30,000 worth of funding from the county. If the position is restored, it could help community gardens struggling to find people to join up. Both Ephrata and Soap Lake started community garden projects last year. Grant County may be rural, but we've got culture. Just take a look at Thursday night in Moses Lake. First, the Impact Dance Project is holding its debut performance at the Wallenstein Theater. The performance features original choreography that explores the significance of dreams and visions. Several Moses Lake youth will join the dance company during Thursday's performance, which starts at 7 p.m. at 6989 College Parkway Northeast. Tickets are $10 and are on sale at Art Garden Pottery in Moses Lake and the Bookery in Ephrata or at the door. At the Moses Lake Museum and Art Center, author Blaine Hardin is reading from his latest book, Escape from Camp 14. The New York Times bestseller details the inner workings of the world's longest-lasting dictatorship through the life story of a man who escaped to the West from a North Korean labor camp. Hardin, who is originally from Moses Lake, now reports for PBS Frontline and was a correspondent for the Washington Post and New York Times. The program is followed by a book signing and starts at 7 p.m. in the Moses Lake Civic Center. Turning now to crime news, a 17-year-old gang member was charged in Grant County Court after a gang fight where a teenage girl was beaten with a board. Jamie Adami Hernandez Jr. is facing 3 counts of assault and obstructing a law enforcement officer. The incident started when the 17-year-old girl was walking in Quincy with her boyfriend and another teen last June. Police say 3 other gang members, including Hernandez, made gang signs and challenged them to a fight. The girl was allegedly kicked in the stomach and hit with a 2x4 when she tried to intervene. A police report said the victim was 4 months pregnant at the time of the attack, but the child was uninjured. Hernandez and another gang member were arrested after being chased. Each of the people you see here have warrants for their arrest and are wanted by various law enforcement agencies. If you see any of these people, the DOC asks you not attempt to detain or apprehend them, but to call police. You can also call the Department of Corrections at 509-764-6180 during the day or 509-762-1160 after 5 p.m. We'll be right back with the weather forecast for the Columbia Basin, and we've got sports and more news on the way.